Hello, I'm Anita Castellina. Welcome to Earth 2.0. These days, with all of the issues we need to solve in our world, I find myself turning to our future leaders, younger generations, to see how they are responding and what actions they may be taking. And it seems that many of them are very aware, very focused, and ready to get to work to even take over and find solutions to the problems we face. One of the most inspirational groups of young people are 16 children from around the world who have petitioned the United Nations Committee on the Rights of the Child to hold 5 of the world's leading economic powers accountable for inaction on the climate crisis. I'm very excited to speak with 2 young women who are part of the Children versus Climate Crisis petition, Iris Duqesne and Raina Ivanova. Hello, welcome to both of you.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Oh, it's so nice to see you here. So give us a little background on how this petition came about. And I know that I'll be asking these questions and you'll have to decide who's going to talk. So I'll start with Iris. Why don't you give us a little background on how the petition to the United Nations came about?
Well, I was really interested in the environment and climate change, and I really wanted to make my voice heard. I just didn't really know how. And when I moved to the US in California about 2 years ago, I came in contact with April Peebler and her Heirs to Our Oceans, this organization, and she got into contact with the Husfeld, the lawyers corporation that was filing the petition, and they were looking for youth from all over the world, but mostly from the countries they were attacking with the petition. And so they were looking for a French girl or boy, and she asked me since she knew me, and then I pretty much said yes right away.
That sounds great. How about you, Raina?
For me, it was pretty similar. I wasn't a part of Heirs to Our Oceans before, so I got contacted through Heirs to Our Oceans through my dad because there was a woman that both my parents and April knew, and because I was the only person from Germany they knew, they contacted me, and then I had a few interviews, and that's how I got involved.
So there's an organization. I think I need to kind of roll back a little bit here and find out what's the source of this petition and who are these people. First of all, I'm also going to say Heirs to Our Oceans is an amazing ocean conservation group that is populated with children from all over the world who are concerned about the conditions of our oceans and cleaning them up. And that's how I met the 2 of you also, is through April Peebler, who founded it. But getting back to the petition itself, whose idea was this petition to begin with? Do you know? And they brought you in because you both represented different countries that they wanted to be part of this.
Yeah, the petition was an idea from the Hosfeld, so the organization of lawyers that created the petition. It was from Michael Hosfeld, the guy who created it, and he wanted to leave a good legacy for his children and grandchildren, and he didn't want to retire without doing something that was meaningful to him, really meaningful for the future. So that's why he did it.
And where is he located?
I think in New York. I'm not sure, but that's where we met him.
I see. And why now? Why this petition now? I guess a better question really is, what do you hope to accomplish with this petition, Raina? And maybe tell me a little bit about the wording of the petition too. What's the focus of it?
So the petition is filed against 5 countries. Those countries are Germany, France, Brazil, Argentina, and Turkey. And what I think I want to accomplish with it is that those countries declare that they're violating our rights, and moreover that they immediately decrease their carbon emissions that they're producing daily, which are endangering our future, so that we can have the right to a safe future, because that right has been promised to us when those countries signed the Convention on the Rights of the Child. The Convention on the Rights of the Child is the document we're filing the petition through. The other thing that I hope to accomplish is, because I think the petition also has a public aspect, is to raise awareness about climate change in general, so more people start researching about it and join the climate movement.
And Iris, these countries, all 5 of these countries, along with numerous other countries in the world, signed a declaration that said that children have a human right. It's a universal human right to safety and what else that you can tell me about that they signed and how they are in violation?
So 30 years ago, those countries, the UN presented the Convention of the Rights of the Child to every country that was part of the UN, and every country that was part of the UN except the US signed onto this chart, which basically said that children had rights internationally, and they had rights about climate change, rights about health, education, culture. It was really the base stone for the rights of the child in the world. And to this declaration was an optional convention, per se, that said that if those rights that were promised by the governments to the children were not respected, that the children could reach out to their governments and ask them credit and ask them to right the wrong that they had created. So we are using this tool to sign the petition and ask them to keep the promises that they told us, because they're attacking our rights to life. So the earth that they're leaving to us is not healthy. We won't be able to live as peacefully and as good as they have lived. Our rights to education is compromised too, since children can't go to school because of Corona, for example, or because of floods and drought. And our rights to health is compromised too, because of all that I listed above. So yeah, that's why we're attacking them.
Okay. And what kind of response have you gotten? Have you gotten a response from any of these 5 countries, Raina?
So far, we've gotten a response from Germany and France, and I'm not sure about the other countries right now, but just like Iris, I'm very upset about the response that I got from my country, because it's unbelievable what arguments they use. Both of our countries are filing for no admissibility, which to me just doesn't make sense. And the arguments that are used in the response are just so ridiculous to me. And that's why Hausfeld is still working on the petition, and this is definitely not the end.
Yeah, yeah. And the other countries, so that's 2 countries. What about the other 3?
I think France, Germany responded, I'm sure of it, but I think Argentina or Brazil responded too. I don't know which one, but I know they pretty much used the same arguments, all 3.
And the other young people who are part of this group, what countries are they from, Raina?
We were 16 children from around the world. There's representatives from every continent except Antarctica. And we have boys from the Marshall Islands, Palau, Tunisia, India, Argentina and Brazil, from the US, from Germany, France, and Sweden, and from South Africa too. So we're all from around the world.
And do you gather? Have you all? I assume that you have some photographs you've shown me. So you do get together sometimes. And how is that? What's that experience like, Iris?
Well, filing the petition in New York, all of the pressure per se with the journalists and the press conference, it really brought us together. I think being together as a group, and we were in the same hotel, so we could all hang out together and talk and have lunch and dinner. So that was really good, and it really created a dynamic of support. So when we maybe felt a little down or tired, we could all go to each other's rooms and just have fun and talk, since we were all here for the same reasons. So yeah, we get together, and we're definitely a big group of friends, I would say. So that's really good.
Really symbolic of the oneness of the planet too, isn't it? That this climate issue, this climate crisis affects every single person. And Greta Thunberg is part of this group, is she?
Yes, Greta is part of our petition.
Yes, and has she come to your gatherings, your meetings?
So far, we've only met in New York when we actually filed the petition, and she was there for us to present the petition. But after that, she had to go to other events that she was attending because she's
a busy person.
Such an amazing person. She's always busy.
She's a very, when she's not on the high seas, leaving zero carbon footprint, she's doing a lot of other things as well. Yeah. Did you actually go physically to the United Nations to present this petition?
We didn't really go to the United Nations. We were in UNICEF for the press conference. Greta went to the UN to make her speech and talk to the leaders, but we were at UNICEF, so right next door physically. But we didn't really go in the United Nations, but I mean, we presented the petition, so that's the most important.
And how about support outside of these 5 countries? What kind of support have you gotten, Raina, from other nations, other national leaders, for example?
I know from Carlos, the boy from Palau, that Palau is definitely supporting our petition. That's something I'm very happy about. But other than that, I haven't heard about countries supporting our petition. But I have many friends and all the interviewers and journalists I've talked to that are supporting the petition and that are very proud of all of us, because this is something that we're not just doing for us, we're doing it for all the children, and especially for the ones who are on the front line of the climate crisis who couldn't attend our presentation of the petition.
So even if these countries don't sign the petition or they don't change their behaviors, just like all of the other social actions, this is a raising of awareness, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, what do you see for the future, Iris, for this group and the impact?
I really want the petition to raise awareness, like you said, especially with youth and young people, but also with adults. I think it's really a tool that we can use really generally, for all classes and types of people. It really shows that nobody's too small to make a difference. That might sound cliche, but it's really true.
It is true.
And I really hope that the group we have right now continues to do such actions, and maybe in the future, I don't know, in like maybe 3, 4, 5 years, we get together again to present another petition or file another lawsuit. I don't know. I really want the group to continue and continue with what we started last year.
And maybe by that time, the 2 of you won't be classified as children per se. And have you thought about bringing in and mentoring younger people and bringing them in as well? Has that come up, Raina, as a possibility?
I don't know how far I can talk about that, because I don't even know if we're going to file a second petition.
Yeah.
But yes, definitely young children need to be included and youth need to be included. And not just our petition, but in all those high-level conferences, because we are the biggest stakeholders and it's our future that's at risk. So we need to be included in those big decisions.
Yeah. Have either of you or both of you participated in the Friday school strikes?
Yeah, I think Raina participated a little more than me since she lived in Germany. In San Francisco, there's not much Fridays for Future March, which is pretty, sad. I did the one in New York though, and I'm really looking forward to doing another one in the future.
Yeah.
But I think Raina participated in way more than me.
Yeah. How does that feel when you do that, Raina?
It's so amazing. I always look forward to Fridays because I get to meet my friends at the strike, and I'm very lucky because in Hamburg there's at least 150 people on the streets every Friday. It's just such an amazing atmosphere with people, not just youth, but also grandparents who are there and parents who support us. and we're marching together. We're screaming our slogans, and there's always music, and it's such a great experience. I would recommend to everyone to go to one strike once.
Yeah, it's wonderful. Well, we have to work on this here, Iris, you know, because I'm here in San Francisco also, and I was in Italy last summer, or yeah, it was fall, so school had started up again, and I got to watch in the town of Como in northern Italy. I got to watch the young people striking on Friday, and I was just really proud of them, and they were chanting in Italian. It was very nice. So, thank you both for this activist work that you do. We will definitely stay in touch and follow to see how far this petition goes, plus all of the other things that you're doing with the striking, with all the signing of petitions, with the pressure that we need to put on our leaders and create a grassroots movement, as you know, that is going to hopefully rise up and make a big difference at these top levels that possibly have been ignoring the issue. So thank you. I really appreciate both of you being with us today.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.